Welcome to Fox Political, your trusted source for daily news. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating and often overlooked history of Civil War cartoons. This is part one of our brand new series exploring how art and satire shaped political narratives during one of the most tumultuous times in American history. Political cartoons were more than just drawings, they were weapons of influence, propaganda tools, and social commentaries that captured the essence of the Civil War era. From their role in swaying public opinion to their lasting impact on political discourse, these illustrations provide a unique lens through which to view history. In this episode, we'll examine the origins of political cartoons, their rise during the 19th century, and their critical role in shaping perspectives during the Civil War. The early days of political cartoons, the roots of political cartoons stretch back centuries, but their rise in America coincided with the growth of newspapers in the early 19th century. As literacy rates improved and printing technology advanced, satirical illustrations began to appear regularly in publications. By the mid-1800s, cartoons were a staple of American media. They served as a way to communicate complex political and social issues to a broad audience, many of whom lacked formal education. The simplicity and humor of cartoons made them accessible, while their underlying messages often carried significant political weight. In the years leading up to the Civil War, the United States was already grappling the profound divisions over slavery, economic policy, and state sovereignty. Cartoonists found fertile ground in these conflicts, using their art to comment on the issues that were tearing the nation apart. Cartoons as Z in the Civil War. When the Civil War began in 1861, political cartoons evolved from mere commentary to potent tools of propaganda. Both the Union and the Confederacy recognized the power of visuals in rallying support and vilifying the enemy. In the North, publications like Harper's Weekly and Frank Leslie's Illustrated newspaper became known for their scathing depictions of Confederate leaders and their staunch support for the Union cause. Abraham Lincoln was often portrayed as a heroic figure, while Confederate President Jefferson Davis was depicted as a tyrant or a coward. Northern cartoons frequently highlighted the moral imperative of ending slavery, using powerful imagery to emphasize the horrors of the institution. These illustrations aimed to galvanize public support for the war effort and frame the Union as a force for justice and progress. In the South, where resources were more limited, political cartoons still played a significant role. Southern newspapers used cartoons to mock Union generals, criticize Lincoln's policies, and rally support for the Confederate cause. The themes in Southern cartoons often revolved around resistance to Northern aggression and the defense of states' rights. While fewer in number compared to their Northern counterparts, these illustrations were no less impactful in shaping the perspectives of Confederate citizens. Iconic cartoonists of the era. The Civil War era saw the emergence of several influential cartoonists whose work left a lasting legacy. Thomas Nast, one of the most famous names in the history of political cartoons, earned the title Father of the American Cartoon. Working for Harper's Weekly, Nast created some of the most iconic imagery of the Civil War. His cartoons were unapologetically pro-Union and anti-slavery. He used his art to humanize Lincoln, vilify Confederate leaders, and advocate for the abolition of slavery. His work not only reflected the sentiments of the time, but also helped shape public opinion. On the other side of the conflict was Adalbert Volk, a Confederate sympathizer who used his art to support the Southern cause. Volk's engravings often depicted Union leaders as oppressive and hypocritical, portraying the Confederacy as the true defenders of liberty. While his work was less widely distributed than that of Northern cartoonists, Volk's illustrations remain an important record of Southern perspectives during the war. Themes and symbols in Civil War cartoons. Civil War cartoons were rich with symbolism, using allegory and satire to convey their messages. Northern cartoons often depicted the Union as a noble and just force fighting against the evils of slavery and rebellion. Confederate leaders were frequently portrayed as treacherous or inept, with exaggerated features to emphasize their perceived flaws. Slavery was a central theme, with Northern cartoons focusing on its abolition and Southern cartoons defending it as an institution. Economic and military struggles were also highlighted, with cartoonists using humor to underscore the absurdity of certain situations. The impact of Civil War cartoons. Political cartoons during the Civil War were more than just entertainment, they were a reflection of the era's tensions, struggles, and ideologies. They provided a means for ordinary citizens to engage with complex issues, offering a visual commentary that was both accessible and thought-provoking. For the Union, cartoons helped to solidify support for the war effort and the abolition of slavery. For the Confederacy, it served as a rallying cry for independence and resistance. In both cases, these illustrations were a powerful reminder of the role art can play in shaping public opinion and influencing political outcomes. That's all for part one of the history of Civil War cartoons, the first installment in our new series examining the intersection of art, satire, and politics. Today, we explored the origins of political cartoons and their rise during the 19th century, setting the stage for their crucial role in the Civil War. In Part 2, we'll dive deeper into the key symbols and recurring themes that define these powerful illustrations. From depictions of slavery to portrayals of key figures, we'll analyze how cartoonists captured the essence of the era. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on this series. Let us know in the comments what you think about the role of political cartoons in shaping history. Thank you for watching Fox Political, your trusted source for daily news. See you next time.